In the very first place, we are going to begin by creating our basic project. In this basic project, we are going to set things that we'll implement in the coming project. So it means that in this project we'll set things like dimensions, colors, strings, so that we don't repeat ourselves in the coming project. We'll set this project separately, such that in the coming project we'll be just copying this project and add more to it to avoid to avoid repeating ourselves. So this video is crucial, and it is recommended in Android programming that you shouldn't repeat yourself. Like if you're to code a string, don't hard code it into your project, but set it as a resource and be referencing to it. If you set a dimension, maybe length, it's not recommended to hard code that length like 10 pixels, but you can set those 10 pixels and give it a name into resources, and then you be referencing from those 10 pixels, or you be referencing from that dimension that you've set, such that in one day if you want to change anything, you just be change. If you want to change that dimension, we'll just change it in one place and the entire project will be updated. So that's what we're going to do in this video. We're going to create our very basic project where we're going to set our dimensions, the colors, and the rest. And then the remaining videos we will be just copying this project and do what? And add more components to it. So with that said, I'm going to begin by creating a new project by simply coming to File, New, and then I'm going to say New Project. So this project, I'm going to select Empty Activity, and then I click on Next, and I'm going to call this one 100. You may ask, like, why do I call it 100? This one will help us to in numbering. For example, the projects that we'll do in that we'll do in a certain topic will be changing only this number, and then we'll be changing the remaining numbers. So this coding will help us, or this numbering system will help us to organize our video, also to organize our components. So I'm going to call it is 100, and then I put a space and call it basics. I can put space and call it what? Basics, basic project, basic. Okay, can call it basic project, anything. So this is going to be our just basic project. We will be copying from this one to extend to any other project. So we're going to save it in this location. You can change the location if you want, but for me I'll keep mine there, and then I'll leave it as Java, and then I'll select the minimum SDK. I'm going to select the most minimum, which is 16, API of 16, so that it should occupy as many Android applications, as many Android platforms as possible. And then I'll click on Finish to start the project. So this is our first project. Now assume that I come here to the front page or the UI, the main component, and then I click on Split, and then we have this. Now assume that I want to color my text to be red. So what can I do here? I can simply say the text color is red. That is already is that color, which is pink kind of, or red, you can call it whatever you want, but that is okay. That is okay. Or let me just say the background so that you can see properly. Background, and then I set it to be that color, and then maybe let me increase the text size and make it maybe 25, and then I say maybe 25 dp. Okay, and make it maybe, and put some padding and make it maybe 30 dp, and set the color, the text color, to be white. Okay, and text size, did we say the text size? Yeah. So that is okay, that is allowed, but the problem is we have hard coded our components. And that's why you can see here some yellow warning. You see, everywhere we put hard code the color, there's a warning. The project will work fine. it has no problem, but it is not recommended to hard code your resources. You have to create these colors somewhere, you have to create these dimensions somewhere, you have to create this string somewhere, so that you be referencing from them, such that if you're to use this color in multiple places, you can just be referencing it, and when you change it at one time, it can be updated. So to do this, we are going to begin by setting the colors for our project, and doing it in a good practice. So I'm going to begin by setting the color. So to set the color, we'll simply come here to resources, and then you come to values, and then you come to colors file. If it's not there, you can as well create it. So here we're going to put our colors. You see, there are already some colors that Android created for us, Android Studio, but I'm going to add there more. So for example, this color, I'm going to call it my simple color. So I can come here and I define it only one time, and then I'll be able to reuse it. So I just simply say, I open the bracket and put color, and then I give it a name. Like let me say it's called my simple color, and then after I close and I put there the color itself. So it means that we have defined this color and we can use it in our project anywhere. So if I want to use this color here, if I want to use it here in the background, what will I do? I'll just simply reference it by putting the art, and then I put color. Then it means that I'm pointing it at this color file, and then I put my simple color. So it means that I have referenced this color. So if I press Ctrl and I click on it, it will just simply take me directly here. So it means that if I want to change this color, it will update the project. It will update the whole project where we are using this color. This is far more better than hard coding the color. So in web we also do this, like when we write CSS only one time, and then we use it in different pages. So there are different colors that we're going to implement in this project. I have already prepared them. To save time, I'll be preparing the components, and then we'll be able to reuse those components. So I've already prepared these colors, and if you want these colors, you can just simply go and search material color list on Google. You see, just go to your search engine and search material color list. So come here to material.co/colors. So material.co/colors, this link here, you'll find a list of recommended colors and how the colors can be varied. For example, see here it is red. This red will be varied to 20s in different values. Red 0, red 100, red 200, red until the red 900. Likewise to other colors, indigo. So all the colors will be varied in different values. So I've already created a file that is having all these colors, but for you, if you want to create your own, so you can simply click here and you'll get this code. You see, the code has been has been copied, so you can even change the coding style from here. So when you click on one, you see this code will be copied to your clipboard, and you can come and do and implement it in your project. You see, so if you come here to colors, and I can change this color to the one that I copied. You see, I've copied this color, and then automatically it will be copied here. So since you're going to do a very big project, I've already copied all these colors with their respective names and saved them into a file. So here they are. You see, here they are. I've already copied the overlay colors. I've already copied the red colors from 50 to 100 to 200. So instead of us coming here every time to copy this color, to recopy these colors, for me I've already copied them. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to implement them in, I'm going to put them in our project. But you can also pause this video and then copy them, but copy only the one that you'll use in your project, and copy them and implement it in your project. And if you want these colors, I'll put the link to this file in this description so you can reuse them. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy these colors, and then implement them in our in our project by simply coming to values, then colors, and then I'll just paste them here, and we'll have our colors there. Let me remove these fixed things that we have here. This is theming. I'll explain this later, but let me remove it. I'll explain this later. So you see, we have already put the colors, so it means that we have all the colors from material UI components into our project with their different variation and different names. If you want this file exactly, I'll put in the description, but you can also as well make yours. Just get the color name and do how I showed you to copy the color, to implement the color in your in your project. Okay, but for me I did one by one until I got done with them. So here they are. So it means that every color that we want, we just simply put like at, for example, if I want red, I just put at red, and I'll have red in different variation. When red it is 700, red in the variation of 700, it will simply come there, and red with the variation of so you see here, instead of putting white, I can put simply gray shade, gray with a variation of 700, 100, 200, 400. So you see, I can vary along the grade depending on the colors that I already put in our project. So you can also pause this video and come and copy these colors and put them in your project, or I'll put the link to this file so that you can also just go and copy this color and paste them in your project. So after doing that, I'm going to go to something else. So that is for coloring. So it means that in the remaining part of the project, we just be copying these colors and implement them in our project, and we can reuse these colors anywhere in our project. And if we want to change anything, we just simply come and change any part here, and then our project will be updated. That much said. I hope you've understood it. So this place, we no longer have warning of coloring. Then we go to another thing, which is which is dimension. It is not recommended to do to hard code your dimension like these ones. So we're going to create our dimension and resources, so that will be referencing from those resources. So just simply come to values here, just right click on values, and then say new, and then say values resource. Okay, so here I'm going to put a name of dimens. Dimens means dimension. Then say okay, and then these dimens will be here. So here it's we're going to put our resources. So I've already also prepared the resources, the dimensions that we can implement in our project, and these dimensions, they follow Android dimension settings. Where are they? So I have already prepared the dimensions. You just give a tag called dimen, and then you give the name to that dimension, and then we give it a size, which can be it can be measured in dp or pixels or SPs. So I've already created them. You can pause the video and copy them, because I don't want to make this video long by hard coding them when the video is recording. So that's why I had to prepare them before, and you can pause the video and start copying them, or you can just implement those ones that you want, a few of them, but for me, I'm just going to copy this one and implement in the project, because I don't want the video to be long. Okay, so I'll simply come to our project, which is here, and then I come here to dimens, and then this space of resources, and I paste there my dimensions. You can as well search the guidelines of dimensions for Android on internet, and then they'll also recommend to you. For example, you see here, I'm defining a dimension called action bar size. So according to Android, if you go and search like action bar size or just search Android action bar dimensions, and then you'll see the recommendations. Okay, they'll tell you that it is 56 dp. Okay, so if you come here, also what I did also, see here they are recommending that the height is 56 dp. So I made some research and prepared those dimensions here. For example, action bar, it is having the height of 56 dp, so I had to put it here. So also other important things that we may need in our project. For example, the far margin, it is always 16. That button of Android that is always on the right hand side, that is on top, the margin is always 16, is recommended to be 16. I had to create also my general spacing here. For example, I create the spacing extra small and I gave it 2 dp. I create the spacing of small, I gave it to 3 dp. I create the spacing of medium, I get to 5 dp. Likewise, until we're having xxx large, which is 55 dp. This can be any of your dimension, but for me, I just give them the name so that I should not repeat myself when I'm coding the I'm coding the project. You can pause the video and copy these ones, or you can also create your own. It's just up to you. And if you want this file, I'll also put the link for this file of this project in the description, so you can go and download these dimensions and just copy them and put them in your in your project to avoid you repeating yourself. Okay, so those are dimensions. Now, for example, here, now later, how can we implement them? You see here, where we're having padding. This padding is of 30. Okay, so 30, I can implement the padding of spacing extra large. Okay, so I can just simply come here and say at dimension, and I give extra large. Okay, like XL. So the Android will suggest for me, you see, I have just the same dimension. So if one day I wake up and I want to change the dimension, I'll just simply come here and change the dimension from here, and then our project will be updated from everywhere. So I'll have not have coded it. Like with this string, you can do what? We can define it. So that's how we use the dimensions. So if I want, for example, the height of this one to be the height of action bar, what will I do? I will simply put here height at action bar. Then you'll see that the whole project, I mean you'll see that the height of the height, someone was calling me, the height of this is what is having the height of what, of an action bar. So that's how we can implement these these dimensions in different project in our project. We just code them only one time and then we reuse them. So see, action bar, I already defined it here, so you can just code it only one time and do what, and we'll reuse them. So that's how we create the dimensions. So we have defined these dimensions. You can download them or you can implement them from here. So without wasting much time, we'll go to something else. We'll go to the strings. I also defined common strings that we'll use in our project. So I'll simply come here to new values, and then I come here to values and put what, and put strings. Can put string, can put strings, no problem. So I'm going to create a resource of what, of strings. Oh, it's already there. It's already there. So it is here. Okay, let me create the one just for my data. So I just simply come to new values resource. I just put string data. Okay, or strings data, something like that. So I'm going to define here my strings. So I've already prepared the common used or the most used strings in the project, because it's going to be a huge project, so I have to prepare myself before we start. So the most common used strings, they're here, like okay, like got it, yes, no, setting, cancel, close, update, dismiss, hide, those strings. Okay, so I prepared most common used one, and then I saved them in my project. So it's what I'm going to do here in our basic project. I'm going to come here to resource string data and paste those strings there. See, so they're there. So you just, to create a string, you just simply open a tag of a string, you give it a name, and then you put there a name, and then you define it within the tags. Okay, so I created these most common used strings and I put them there. I also created a string for like lorem, those lorems, but those ones, we look at them. For example, you see a string of lorem ipsum, I'll put it there, but most of them will look at them as we proceed. Okay, just leave for the lorem right now. So if you want to copy these ones, you can also copy them. You pause the video and copy one by one, or you can leave them, because if you're not going to implement them, you don't need to put them in your project. Or you can find the link in the description of this video and go copy those strings. So those are the strings that I have defined here in the strings data. So it means that if I want to use those strings here or anywhere in our project, I'll just simply come here and just reference them by simply putting, for example, this one, I'll remove it, and then put at what, at string, at string, and then you see all the string that I prepared, they are now being suggested. For example, disagree. So you see a string of disagree will come there. So if I press Ctrl and click, it will take me to that string, and I can change it one time. So don't hard code the string, just write the string only one time and then reuse it, like the way I have done here. You see, I write it only one time and then I reuse it. For example, here on the sizing, I can just simply come at what, at dimens extra large, then you see it will do the same sizing. So it's saying that all those yellow warnings are disappearing. So those are the three things that we define. We have defined the coloring, we have defined the dimensions, we have defined the strings, and then lastly let us define the theming. Okay, we're going to define the theming, and it's going to be the last part of this video, so that in the next video we can start from there. So the theming, how do you see if we start it in the next video? So we'll start that the theming in the next video. We're going to look at buttons as well as the theming itself, because this video has been too long. I don't want to make the video too long. And the most important thing, don't just watch. Don't just watch. Watch as you practice. Watch, pause, and practice. Watch, pause, and practice. So, are you ready to jump into the next topic of buttons? I hope you are. So do this basic project, because we are going to be extending from this basic project. So let us meet in the next video. We are going to look at buttons as well as theming of Android. Thank you for watching. Don't miss in the next video.